Welcome everyone to another amazing collaboration with Teamwrkr and me. This is called Arcui Station, and in this series, we answer any and every question you have in regards to scaling your business. Today's focus is just that, how to scale your freelance business in 2023. Mainly because we live in an era of possibilities. You can literally figure out anything you want to do with ease and practically won't even have to pay much for it, or you can just do it for free. That's the possible universe we are in right now. Anything and everything you desire can be done. In fact, you can go ahead and ask me how you can set up a particular business, and I can probably tell you how to do that in 5 to 6 quick steps as well. So with that, I welcome you to this amazing session called Archive Station with Teamwrkr. I look forward to answering your questions. Thank you, Phil, for having me and hosting this amazing series. And yes, let's get started. So I remember Krisa having one question in regards to growing as a someone who does workshops and hosting web panel discussions and stuff like that. I think that's a crucial step when it comes to growing as a freelancer as well, to expand your possibilities, especially because right now we live in a world where you get seen and famous for just doing your business properly, because a lot of people need to know these things and they find it extremely valuable. So yes, if you'd like to go ahead, Chris, and ask a question, I'm happy to get started with you.
Essentially, my question is, because you do a lot of these webinars and these talking panels with people, what are the steps that you take to kind of prepare for a panel discussion, and what makes you feel like what like a webinar is the right place for you to speak?
So let's go one by one. So we'll go from backwards. What makes me feel like I'm certified or qualified to speak about a topic? It's the same thing as freelancers when we are going out there and providing a particular service. It's better to provide a service we're extremely confident with. And we covered this in the last Teamwrkr session of Archive Station in Nation, where we talked about if you're limited with one skill and if you just know how to execute on that, focus on that and try to deliver as much as you can in that while you're expanding your knowledge. It's the same thing. Let's say can you tell me what topic you have been reached out about right now?
So the topic that I was reached out about was like a women leading businesses in the long term, and how that is impactful to a business, and why women should be leading businesses.
Yeah. And I would like to know, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's good. I think we should invest in more businesses that are led by women, and especially for a lot of topics that are controversial or might need a different perspective on something that was typically um, represented by a man. And especially with what I love about the femtech industry is that a lot of them are led by women who want to change the healthcare industry um, after discovering some things are not as what we understood them before, which is what I feel women can bring to the table.
I think that's amazing. And you're able to provide these insights because I'm pretty sure you have engaged with these people and you have some sort of knowledge. And of course, I just asked you out of the blue, but if you had enough prep time, I'm pretty sure you could collect certain prompts for yourself so that whenever you heard the right thing, you'd be able to direct it. And I completely agree, especially in the healthcare industry. There's so many things that were decided for women without even the acknowledgement of women. And right now, with women founders who have experienced most of these things, can truly direct the direction of everything that needs to be done in medicine or in so many other fields, even in businesses. I'm working with a client who is trying to help women be better leaders in corporate America, especially women of color and the discrimination they face. And she has faced this, so she knows how to overcome them. And she's the best person to help these other women. Now, wouldn't it be absurd if a white man was doing this for women of color? It's needed. The perspective is required from the person who has experienced this. So I think it's truly crucial. And just like how I've been able to say these things, it's because I have some experience and understanding. And just like I have seen your amazing work and the way you have created inclusivity with every form of content you have created so far and your projects, I know you're capable of talking about one thing or the other. It's just that whenever people reach out to me, I make sure that it's something I can truly talk about. Let that be even over here in our guys station and how to scale your business. It's because I know how to scale a business. I can talk about those things. Experience is the most valuable insight you can bring to the table. But more than that, engagement and interaction with other people can truly help you scale as well. Now, in terms of how to land projects or how to prepare for these things, well, for preparation, the one thing I always tell people is don't imagine yourself giving an amazing talk in front of thousands of people. Imagine yourself doing an SNL monologue. Be as crazy, as weird as you can. If you want to have fun, if you want to be weird, do that. The more confident you are, imagine yourself just being as amazing of yourself you can be and go right ahead. The way you can visualize yourself, the confidence and self-love you have for yourself allows you to be as confident as you can and even makes you a lot more clearer in topics that you're speaking about and helps you improve on things where you lack. Now, if you want to figure out how to reach out to people or how to communicate with people when they're reaching out to you, it's all about clear communication. Ask them what is expected of you. Why are they reaching out to you? Most of the time, people reach out to you for one or the other reason. Now, there are sometimes people just are randomly reaching out, but even then, through conversations, we can figure out a way to be of proper value and asset to them. But even then, when people are truly reaching out to you for your expertise, they see something in you. And that's something you're crafting and projecting out there. It's the same thing with content. It's the same way to be seen out there. The more content and consistency we have, it's crafting a perception about our knowledge base. So just putting that out there is crafting something. So it's practically something you're already talking about, and they just want to hear more about that. So you already know what you're talking about. All you have to do is be confident in yourself, agree with yourself that, yes, I can do this. This is something I'm known for. And that's why they're reaching out to me. I obviously deserve this and more. And when you're decided that, hey, I'm going to be speaking on this, figure out exactly what you require. Do they require to do it virtually? Do they require you to prepare a deck? Do they require you to come and speak with other people? What all is expected of you? And then going forward, just prepare those things and be your best self. You don't need to copy everything. You don't need to be prepared to the crank. All you need to do is know what you're talking about and believe in yourself. I hope that answers your question.
It does. It does. Thank you.
Yes. And all the best for the panel discussion. And I look forward to seeing how that goes. Yes. So with that, I would like to open the stage for other people and any questions they might have. I'm going to start
Yeah, I'm
calling
still.
people. Yeah,
Yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah.
I think I haven't prepared anything, but I'm sure I'll get at least one question in my
Of
mind
course.
right now. Yeah,
All right.
you can go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, Joe.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I was just wondering, one of the things that I think a lot of people face are transition periods in their freelance business. So talk about scaling, and doing new things. And thanks for that for Krista there. It was really awesome. Part of it is like feeling that you're in that transition period. Sometimes you're like, can I get to that next thing? Right? Am I gonna make it to that next level? And then Chris was kind of hinting at that a little bit in her question, right? Like, well, I'm being asked to do these new things, and how do I go about doing that? So that's one thing. Do you think there are like, specific breakpoints? I don't know. Is it a certain amount of time that you've spent doing something, or is it a certain amount of clients you've worked with, or some other measures or metrics where you say to yourself, well, I've achieved a certain level doing my freelance business. Maybe I got it off the ground. Now I want to take it to another level, then another level, another level. So have you seen that in your experience in terms of like I said, break points or certain things people could be on the lookout for when they know they're approaching that sort of next level, right?
Absolutely. And I think the answer to this is not with the number of clients or the amount of time, but the number of challenges you overcome. Because let's say you get the same type of clients again and again, then obviously it's easy for you to execute the same thing. If the client wants you to come and just remove grammatical errors from a paragraph or a blog, you're not growing further. Even if 100 clients come your way, you know that it's easy. But when you keep doing multiple challenges, you truly start to build your expertise or understanding of a field from different point of views and truly build your knowledge base around that. Once that is there, you start to realize that it's kind of like a gut feeling that comes your way that, you know what, I can take on more. It's really easy for me to tackle these things, mainly because you're able to pick up on problems your clients are facing even before they're able to finish the sentences. That's when you know that, you are ready to take on more and ready to scale. When you realize that even before your clients finish the problem, you know not just how to potentially solve it, but you understand what might even be coming in their way, what are the causes, And you can pick up on those things even further and know that you're right when clients are like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm dealing with. That's exactly what's coming in my way. So the more you talk about, the more you do something from different ways and perspectives, and the more you put yourself out there, and the more easier it becomes to do something, you realize that, yeah, it's time for me to grow. And I have personally had this as well. I realized that as someone who was I started out as a graphic designer, turned brand designer, turned brand strategist. And when I used to create posters or anything for my clients, I realized that I wasn't really going around doing whatever they wanted. I would ask a lot more questions. And so I realized that after a point that this is the reason why I don't get too many revisions from my clients, or sometimes no revisions at all. It's because of the strategies and the questions I ask and the way I communicate. That helps me realize that, you know what, I think I'm good at this and there's something further I need to explore right now. And that's when I realized that, yeah, it's not just with design or branding, but it's more about the way I'm engaging with these people. Now, of course, I'm able to do this for just the service I'm specialized in, but how about if I can do it for other things? And I started to pick up on that, because if my clients would come to me for just, let's say, a package design or just an entire brand identity for basic stationery, and I could visualize not just what their brand identity should be, but also what their brand messaging should sound like, how their overall copy and voice should feel, or the brand merchandise and culture should be like. When you're able to envision that for your clients, you realize that your understanding of concept is going further than what you have been doing so far. And that's when I realized that, you know what, I'm getting good understanding of what really makes a brand. And then I decided that it's time to ascend to the next thing. And that was strategy for me. I started to further go into what really makes something happen, what crafts a perception. And the deeper I went into that, I started to see that I was doing similar things previously, and it made more sense. So with that, I found myself scaling into providing new services. With that, I found myself scaling into starting an agency, because I realized that as a freelancer, I've been able to do this, but I have also been collaborating with a lot more people. And to be able to create sustenance for them, because I have been able to sustain their lifestyles as well, I think I'm ready to make it more official and make it more impactful and take on more projects because of just my capabilities so far. I hope that answers your question, Phil.
Sorry, yes, I was on mute there listening. Thank you. Yeah. So you're just a summary, I think, was not so much about how long you've been doing something or how many clients you've worked with or how much money you've made or any of that. It's more about sort of your mastery of something, because you said when it got easy, right? So once you feel like you've mastered something, then you're ready for the next level. Mhm.
Yeah, it's more about the challenges. I think it's hard to ever master everything completely, but
Right.
it's the deeper understanding we build that, you know what, at least I can go to 90% of it without even having to think twice.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'd like to welcome Varun here, who has just tuned in, and I see Varun has unmuted himself. So yes, good, Varun. Do you have any question for us?
Yeah, I do have a follow-up question. I mean, with Phil's question, I mean, it's kind of a follow-up question to that. So, I mean, how do I explain this? So, give me a second.
Take your
Rephrasing.
time. Take your time. Deep breaths, slowly. We are all here for you.
So, so this growing in your field thing is like what I did once is there was this new thing a client asked for, like they wanted a website in this particular technology, and I didn't knew about that. Okay, so what I did was I learned it. Okay, and right after learning it, I didn't practice any project on that particular uh, technology, and I just learned it theoretically and took the project. All right, and somehow it ended well. I was able to crack that project, and I mean, do pretty well with it. And I am in a similar situation right now. Okay, and like this client said he wants a new technology thing to add to his website, and I don't know about it. So right now I'm learning it, and it's a bit more complex thing right now. So I'm learning it, and I'm planning to do same thing which I did with the previous client. I mean, that in previous situation. So what if this time it didn't end well? And I mean, how should I face the client then? I mean, if something bad happens, I'm hoping not, but what if something bad happens? And is it a healthy procedure to follow every time? Or should I just wait for a while and practice some projects beforehand and then take a project there with the client? So I think, I mean, that's the question, and I hope I was able to explain.
Absolutely. And I completely understand. I will tell you this. So this is something every creative, every business owner goes through, mainly because you get different challenges each time. My friends, the future, the blind team, they were once reached out by Coldplay and they wanted to create something for them. And they had never even, they just came up with a concept they didn't even know was possible. Because we are creatives, we think of amazing things. And it's later we realize that, you know what, it's going to be a pain to execute on this. But it's after that, they are, my friend Matthew and Sina, who was the main head of the project, he went around, looked for what could be done and how could this possibly be achieved. And then they found a company called Ecolabs, and Ecolabs makes interactive videos. Now we have a different partner for interactive videos, but that time Echo was the hype. And they reached out to them, they talked with a few people and they told them that, yeah, Echo is a platform for you. They checked out Echo. And it's not just with Echo or anything, even we get projects and we sometimes think that there's a different way to do this. Now, of course, there is a bit of a learning curve and there's a lot of learning curve. But with every challenge that comes your way, you need to see how easily you understand things. Never sell or do anything you don't understand at all. And if you're able to grasp things, go slowly. One thing is always expand the timeline if you can. Because my friends at Blind, they literally said yes to the project. And then, they were like, here's a concept. And Coldplay loved it. They were like, oh, I can't wait for this to be out there. And this is an award winning video out there. And then they were just wondering, Matthew was like, what do I do now? How do I go about executing this thing? Then he found the platform. He learned about it. He learned how it works. He didn't wait for projects before that or in between. He wasn't like to Coldplay, hey guys, let's wait for a few projects for me to do this with other clients. Let me risk it with them and then let me do it with you. There's always going to be a risking point. It's about testing it out yourself and understanding it. It's like using any tool. It's not about learning a style, but learning how to make the tool work for you. So try to understand that. And then they made the video for Coldplay. I can't remember the song, but it's the interactive video Coldplay has where you can make choices and decisions. And it's an Emmy Award winning music video out there. It's amazing. And he made it literally while the project was going on. Coldplay came, he was tense about what they're going to think. They loved it, they were blown away. And everyone would be. And we have done the same thing with our clients. Like, perspectives are unique and perspectives are hard to come by, but everyone brings their own, and especially creatives, we have the weirdest ideas. I can tell you, like, I have sometimes suggested weird things to my clients and we made it work some or the other way. But when we suggested it, we were like, we don't know how it's going to happen. Now, the good thing for you, Arun, is that you already know how to implement the technology. You at least know what needs to be done. You just need to practice it. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time because at the end of the day, you are working with someone. Regardless of how, the value and the power balance is and everything, you're working with someone. It's someone's dream and they're trying to bring that into reality with you. Now, it's always good to be confident in skills and projects that you can do. And yes, it's always good to have a bit of a challenge. That's how you actually grow as a creative. But rather than doing it all the time, if you can manage it and if you're the kind of person, that's great. But be sure to remember that there are other people on the line, there are people who are depending. It's not just someone paying you money, it's someone who's trying to create something for their end users and so much more. So try to see how easy it is for you to execute on this, because with technology, you can see if it's working and if it's not. So I'd rather say if you're not confident with it executing properly, learn a bit more about the technology while you're working on the project. Let the client know, hey, there's certain things that are coming in the way. I want to make sure I can deliver the best thing that you want. Now, I might have to extend the timeline a bit just so that there are no errors to you in the future. Be honest. If you have to say that, if they know already that you don't know the technology, that's great. Try to be as honest as you can. I tell my clients that I don't know Webflow. I don't know Webflow. I know it's the best tool out there. We provide Webflow as a service. We charge $8,000 of Webflow page. But when clients come to me and they ask me, I'm like, yeah, I can understand the platform. I know how it works, but I don't know how to create on Webflow. Now I can guide you, but I obviously have to hire an expert. If I can't hire an expert and if you have someone on board, I can guide them. But even for me to be able to do that, I need to understand how the platform works, at least on a director's point of view, to be able to direct the person. Like I can tell you, hey, Varun, I want a website where the text keeps changing when people are showing different words. Now, me telling that to you can give you an idea as to what I want, and that can allow you to do that. So sometimes you just need visualization, but communication and honesty is truly crucial. And next time you want to take on challenges, make sure it's not someone else on the line. And if you're taking challenges, make sure how further this challenge requires you to be able to, just implement it properly, as well as what's the risk for someone else. Because you providing a misservice, it just goes a bit further, but the client will literally might have to hire someone else. And if it's a critical technology or critical tool that you've built, it could affect their business in a very big potential way. So be sure you're thinking about them. They're humans as well. Just like you wouldn't want your clients to run away with your money, you making a bad decision could affect them. So think about those things. But it's good to have challenges. It's good to explore things. But just be sure about the decisions you make and how it affects someone else. Yeah.
They got it. So thanks a lot, man. I did actually extended the time span and told them, and I have been honest with them as well. I will be learning this and then implementing. It'll take me some time. They were like, yeah, okay, it's fine. No worries. If you are willing and you know you can make it happen, so we are good with it. So
Yeah.
thanks a lot, man. It answers my question.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Varun. It's always good to be honest because it's easier to come true about something right off the bat than your clients expecting you to know something. And then at the end, you're like, you know what? I really wanted to do this, so I took on the project, but I was actually incapable of doing this. I hope you forgive me because they have been dedicating their hopes to you. They have been expecting you to be the solution. And if you don't do it properly, it's they who suffer. Yeah. So it's great that you're honest because they know what they're dealing with and they're willing to work with you. Now you just need to be confident with every decision you make. And with technology, it's easy to be accurate. It's easy to know that yeah, it's working. And you have so many resources out there. So work as much as you want. And if you feel like the challenges are going a bit too much, try to collaborate with someone who knows this technology. There are always experts out there who are eager to answer. There are people you can outsource, or just a platform might have people who are just having an entire stack base for you to just answer your questions and help you and guide you in any way they can. All right. So with that, I would like to open the stage to other people. I know that Shweta had submitted a question on negotiation, and I see Varanya here as well. So yeah, Shweta, would you like to go ahead and ask your question?
Yeah, actually, I have written that question in that form. Yeah, I want to know like how to negotiate with clients like like a pro. So yeah, I think my negotiation skill is not that good. So I want to improve that. Yeah.
Can you give me a situation where you require assistance exactly? Because
Uh,
negotiation is a huge thing.
yeah, it's huge. Like if you're dealing with a client and their and your budget is not like fit with them, so they obviously ask me to like to charge low. But how can I make a budget wo ki mera bhi fit like they I don't know like how to make that situation मेरे को समझ में, but yeah, I'm just telling ki uh, both are comfortable with this with the budget, so that's how.
I completely understand. Sometimes clients expect you to get a lot more lower budget, whereas
Yeah.
it's hard for you to meet them there. So here are a couple of things you can do. First thing
Yeah.
is to be extremely clear about what they're getting into and what they're asking of you. And this, what I mean is try to expand your deliverables in as much detail as you can, as well as what you bring to the table. Every creative service provider, every freelancer has their own unique approach to do things. And that's what really makes them special and unique. So figure out how you can communicate that best. Secondly, there are two things that always happen. Either the client has way too many expectations and a way lower budget, or they have very little expectations, but their budget is honestly not even meeting you halfway to execute on that basic thing. The best thing you can do in either situation is to tell them that here's what you require. and here's how much it generally costs to get it done by me, and why it's generally charging that much for you to do it. Once you know that, once you can communicate that and your understanding of the industry and their problem and how to execute on that, when you communicate that, they can see that you as a trust factor. After that, tell them you can either reduce the deliverables and meet them halfway for now. So let's say a client comes to you for a project that generally charges around $3,000 and their budget is of $1,000 and they want 10 things. You can tell them that, you know what, let's prioritize what's truly important for you. Out of these 10 things, what are 4 or 5 things that you really need that can truly make an impact right away? And going forward, you'll be able to focus on other things and increase the budget so we can do on other things. What we can do now, because you have a reduced budget, we can reduce the deliverables as well. And I can meet you halfway. I can reduce my budget for that by a bit for the reduced deliverables now. And then we can communicate and try to achieve your goals. And in the meantime, if you can allocate more funds or try to do some budget cuts and try to get more funding for this project, that will be wonderful. But let's try to focus on things that are truly important for you right now, so that in case you aren't able to create more funds as well, we can at least create something that solves 1 or 2 problems for you instead of all 10. Because honestly, your problem is something that's really crucial. You have brought up an amazing issue, and I am someone who can truly help you. I understand the industry, I understand how to go about executing on these things. But what you're asking me to do, and what you're willing to pay me doesn't match. You want me to build something amazing for you, but you aren't even willing to pay me in a few cents. This is going to be problematic, mainly because I know once I solve these problems for you, it's going to bring huge impact to your business and to your audience. And aren't you willing to invest in your business a bit more just so that you can actually deliver properly? Whereas what to be for me to be able to execute and help you achieve what you want, these funds aren't really enough. You break down everything that is required from you. You don't need to actually go into every little nook and cranny of things, but just a wide range and a bit of a description about what is required, why they should be paying you these things, and then just communicate that to them. Once that is done, if they're willing to accept it, that's great. Sometimes at the end of the day, clients just don't want to negotiate. Clients literally are trying to compare you with other people. They're like, someone else can do it for cheap. Someone else is doing it. I've seen people who are doing it for that much. Then you have to be honest. You are someone who's skilled. You're someone who brings a lot of value and you have a different perspective. If they want to work with you, they should be willing to work with you. But if they aren't, and let's say for some reason, not just that they're bad clients, just that they don't have the funding, wish them luck. Don't always assume the worst thing about clients. Try to understand that sometimes they're business owners as well, and they have to manage funds. Tell them that I hope the other people you have found can help you achieve these things. Unfortunately, for me to do this for you, it's going to charge you this much. I hope the people you have found can actually help you achieve this thing. Do keep me posted, and I look forward to seeing you succeed. But one thing you should know is sometimes freelancers reduce their prices so that they can help get more clients and they come in your attention. But reduced prices doesn't always mean best quality. Sometimes all they're doing is just let you go with them. So what's really important for you? The value, the quality I'm delivering, or just saving a few funds? And secondly, what's really you need to focus on over here is when you bid them goodbye, just let them know that do let me know how things go. And if not, I'm always here. But the next time you come, the prices might be a bit more different as well. And I hope you're willing to work with that. But I look forward to the best for you and I wish you the best. Saying this portrays you from a point of view that, yes, I really want to help you, but you need to meet me somewhere as well. Because you already reduce deliverables. You're not reducing your work, you're just reducing the deliverables. You're still meeting them in the middle and still delivering the best things out there. So keep that in mind and just communicate that. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, yes, definitely. Thank you.
Of course. And yes, so with that, I would like to ask if anybody else has any other questions. I see Varanya here. And yeah.
Yeah, Arcui, I have a question. First of all, thank you for the invite, and also I'm sorry for joining late. I got stuck in some meeting. Uh, so yeah, my question is, since we are talking about scaling a freelancing business, right? So when we scale, we will somehow we'll collaborate with others or bring in someone into the team. In that scenario, we need some kind of SOPs, standard operating procedures, right? So like what's the best practice to do that, like in order to get the same output? If you are hiring people, if you are collaborating, that's different aspect, but if you are hiring, we need some standards. So in that case, what do you do?
So over here, this is practically, so I would like to actually ask you as well, like what aspect do you want me to particularly focus on, that I can obviously give you not just a general answer, but a more detailed answer as well? Is there a particular thing you're worried about or you want me to cover?
uh No, I'm not worried about anything at this point, but basically what I'm doing is I'm building some SOPs internally because I'm hiring more people, and also I don't basically I'm standardizing everything, especially for the recurring clients, right? Like the clients who are on the retainer. So I'm finding, like, I'm trying to figure out what's the best practice in order to do that. Like in grassroots levels, like what's the best way to get the SOP done so that team will follow it, get the result delivered. For example, let's assume it's for a video editing thingy. Like I'm not editing anymore, others will edit, but I want the output that I used to get. Let's assume that use case.
Absolutely. So let's say so let's go with your role play. And so you obviously run a video editing agency, and now you're hiring other video editors. It's honestly kind of like collaboration itself. There's no more a huge difference, especially because if you have the right team, you can truly increase your value proposition and the impact you can create by tenfolds. Here's what I would like you to focus on. Firstly, look for proof of work. If you have set standards, look for others who are creating things similar, beyond, or nearby so that you can guide them. Once you have that, reach out to them and try to collaborate with them, vibe with them, and see if you can truly work with them. Because when it comes to building a team, you need to make sure that these are people you can truly align with and work with again and again. And building and managing a team requires a lot of patience. Collaboration might be a one-on-one thing, but when it comes to running a team, there are a lot of expectations. You're not just a good friend, but you're also a boss. You need to be able to do that. Sometimes you do need to be strict, sometimes you need to let go of people. And while that is there, you need to make sure there's a good standard set in place just so that you can communicate everything properly and manage people properly. With that, let's say you found video editors who can deliver, who can create these things. Firstly, understand their process, see how they work and how different it is from yours. Because I say this a lot when it comes to collaboration. You can either tell people what to do or how to do things. If you have to tell them both, then it's better that you do it yourself, because that's practically what you do. When you're literally hiring people, there's going to be a bit of learning curve. They will have to adjust with your thing, because especially because you run a creative agency, even if you have retained clients, each project is different. Even if you templatize everything, sometimes there are different requirements. So they should be someone who's capable of understanding things or taking challenges. And your standard practices should be covering these things. It's someone who can think for themselves, who can collaborate, and who's a team player. But aside from that, you need to see if these people are willing to commit to you. They should be someone who align with your vision, who align with what you really want to serve. And I don't mean that they should be like, yes, I am extremely purposeful to your goal. No, they should align with the vision that you have for video creation, the possibilities you see with video creation. They should have the same understanding of the service. Because when people are really motivated, they are truly willing to give more than what is expected of them. And yeah, if people can vibe with you, that's really amazing. Because I've seen one thing. Once the pandemic hit, productivity of people, some people went tenfold. They were more than willing to invest with the business and stay with them. They're willing to adapt because when they were working with companies they truly aligned with, and when the companies were really supporting them, they didn't hesitate at all to continue working with them. Airbnb is one of the best cases for this. Airbnb's profits have increased by so much because of the values they have, and because they clearly told people work from wherever you want. We don't care about those things. We value your healthcare. Our values are the same. We just want you to be equally dedicated to us. So there are a lot of things that come into play here. And in terms of, just making sure people can deliver at the same level, just set the standards that, hey, before every project, this can't be just set just at the hiring time. Before every project comes on or anything that starts up, let them know that, hey, this is what I want. this is what I envision. Because when you're a boss, you in a way act as a creative director there as well. And you have to tell them that this is what I want. So stylescapes are a great thing that can be used. And just see if they can truly deliver on this. Help them brainstorm, help them ideate all these things. And when this is happening, let them do it in their own way, but oversee from time to time. Ask them if they have any things they require help with, and that's it. You obviously need to have a basic contract in place that is expected from you, and you can get a lawyer to help you make these things. But what I understand is you want to see the practical things, not the legal stuff, but the practical things on how to manage expectations, how to communicate these things. So see how you can communicate best. Like for me, I don't have to speak a lot with the people I work with. I tell them this thing, they add on to me. But I've also worked with people where I literally had to explain each and every aspect to them, and they were still not able to pick up on that. So I know that I can't work with these people more, because even though I'm willing to educate, when I'm working on projects, sometimes either the best boss or the worst boss. Like if you collaborate with me, you learn two things. One, you'll always be faced with an amazing challenge that will upscale your career and everything. But when you're working with me, when the project is going on, you might feel frustrated that I'm not letting you do anything like pre-used and everything, because I come up with custom solutions each time. Even if a template can be used, I have different ways to do that, because I want to make sure my clients feel aha when they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so working with me will truly hype you up, will make you an amazing creator. But during the process, you'll face a lot of challenges, you'll overcome them a lot. And I wouldn't be nagging you, but the things I throw your way, and I'll guide you as well, can be a lot more than what you expect. So I said these things that, hey, you're really going to grow out of this, but you should also be willing to work with me, because I'm not going to be like, poking around everywhere. And this will be this in the beginning. When you're starting out by hiring, you'll try to make sure everything is going your way and all. You need to let people have the time. And the best way to make sure you have enough time to train your employees or people you hire, as well able to execute properly with your clients, is by simply extending the timeline and what you generally say, because this gives you enough time for errors and to actually guide your team and build your team up. Having patience is crucial as well. But it's just these things working together, finding the right people, and that's about it.
Great, great. Yeah, great insights, man. Basically, I'm kind of guy who wants to set standards for everything. Even back in when I was running my ice cream store, I used to have some like checklist for each employee. So it will be like kind of automated. I'll be just visiting for a few hours. So I'm actually doing the same thing, but a few things you mentioned I need to work on. So yeah, thank you for that.
Glad I could help. So yes, with that, I would love to ask, what are some of things you guys are looking to work and achieve in 2023? There's so much you can do. One of the goals I set for myself was to write one book or create one course a month. And it's been going amazing. We have been using AI to do that. We have been doing a lot more things than we thought we could. It has become slightly stressful because I'm someone who likes to take a lot on my plate sometimes without realizing how much I can manage, but I've still been able to manage them somehow. And it's been really amazing. Honestly, I didn't think 2023 already. We're about to be 2 months done. I can't believe 2 months are also already over, but it's going so quickly. It's going so amazingly. I would love to know how your year is going and what is some of your goals that I can help you with, but what are certain things that you're planning to achieve as well?
Okay, so I'll go then. So yeah, I'm also kind of a guy who takes a lot of things on my plate at one go and realizes after that it's not. I mean, not everything is possible, but let's let's just chop it down to some the major three on the top list. So this year I'm planning to be a full stack developer, learning backend stuff as well, from front end to a full stack developer. And I started writing blogs as well to like I mean, how I got how did I got an idea to this was I watched a YouTube video. It was a podcast, I guess. So they were like, we are not I mean, uh, recording videos and uploading vlogs for you. I mean, honestly, not the viewers. We are doing it for ourselves, so we can watch it in our 50s and see. I mean, and live our 20s and 30s. So that actually hit me a lot. So I was like, yeah, I'm not good at videos and stuff and vlogging, but I can write blogs and be happy when I at my age 50 and feel what it was like in my 20s and 30s. So that's the two major things I'm planning this year to achieve. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. And I get the feeling like I would love to, I try to live my life like that as well. Like I love looking back and realizing that when I turned 18, I was one of the world's best brand strategists already, even before I turned 18. And I have an agency, or every time I do something, I love every win. And I think that's really crucial, Varun, because if you can truly love every little win of yours, you really motivate yourself to be more amazing every day. Because we can always look at the flaws. I have a lot of flaws and I never like ignore them. Like even right now, I hesitate sometimes or I butcher up my words. That's all right. But it's the amount of love I have for myself and the way I can vibe with myself and every little win. Like if I go ahead and I trained my dogs to do one thing properly after 2 years of having them, I'm happy with that. So every little thing plays a huge role. And if you can truly love that about yourself, things around you try to start to be more positive and you actually end up growing more than you could imagine. So yeah, I love that you're doing these things and I look forward to more of your blogs. If you can share them in the chat, that would be amazing if you have posted anything already out there. But
I
yes,
haven't.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't actually posted. So I'm planning to write 20 blogs first and post them eventually. So that's the plan. I'm sorry to cut you.
no, that's completely all right. I look forward to your blogs. Just make sure you're not overworking yourself, burning out. And batching is really great. Looking forward to them. Do share them in the Teamwrkr community whenever you launch them. We would love to check them out and just be inspired by it. And yes, Kriza.
Okay, so for me, a lot of the time, a lot of the clients that I do work with are NGOs and organizations run by women and BIPOC people who represent certain social causes and people who are underrepresented. As I said earlier, I wanted to get into the femtech industry, as Arcui knows. So that's something that I'm exploring this year and kind of have been exploring since the end of the year of wanting to work with these people. Before, I would never dream of going to touch any clients in healthcare, just because I was always like, oh, I don't know enough science details, I don't know biology. But then I realized that there's other things that I can do to help the healthcare industry in what they need to do. So I'm super excited to start working with those clients a little bit more. And um, I'm and in terms of my next steps, with that, I hope to share more ideas, like blogs, like you said, Varun. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. But yeah, I want to share a lot of my ideas. I found that I do have a lot of ideas that I want to share and I want to say, but I just never had the time to post them on social media or execute them. So whether I delegate that task to someone else or I'm doing that more smartly in the way that I do what like content batching, I'm looking forward to being more active on social media and sharing those ideas as well.
Absolutely. And that's really amazing. I love that you're taking steps towards that, mainly because I didn't know shit about running a hotel. I can't do that even right now. If you tell me to go cook, maybe I can. Like I once literally went and helped the shawarma restaurant cook shawarmas because I was way too early and they haven't been prepared everything. But I was hungry. So I was like, let me cook with you guys. But I don't know how to run a restaurant. I don't know all of those things. But when the pandemic hit and a lot of restaurants that I knew in LA was suffering because they didn't know social media, how to utilize them, because a lot of hotels and restaurants were still sticking with old formats of marketing and they didn't know how to even run or not be able to not close shop and sustain themselves. I was able to help them because I know how brand awareness works, how communication works, and how crafting good experience can change everything. And I was able to help just by doing pro bono work, and it built my reputation and recognition in the hotel industry. So yes, even though we don't know things, everyone knows something or the other that can truly help someone else. and that can really help others. And delegation is really important. The best way to grow is by delegating, by providing opportunities for others, and so that you can focus on things that you truly love. You can also automate these things, but working with other people brings you insights and experiences, even using these tools in ways that you might not have had till now. How can I support you, or is there something you're working towards that I can currently help you with?
Oh, you've helped me so much already in this because you always send me the new tools that are trending or tools that you've used that are very helpful. So that is always helpful to me. Just providing those resources very helpful to me and my understanding as well. I know you've built a lot of my understanding around AI and the way it's used. So I loved hearing your perspective on how to use AI, since I know there's still a debate about are you pro AI or anti AI? But I loved hearing your perspective on how you feel like it can help businesses and change 2023. I believe this is the year that people are starting to understand there are more ways technology can help us.
Absolutely. And my thoughts on AI is always that it can help you grow. And being an AI driven agency for the past 1 year and helping clients use AI and help them grow, we have literally been a living case study. And yeah, I look forward to seeing how other businesses are planning to scale. What about you, Varanya, Sweta, and Phil? How can I make this a valuable session for you? And what are certain things you guys are working towards in 2023?
Yeah, I can go next. So for 2023, I have three clear goals. One, by the end of the year, we need to attain $25,000 MRR. That's one goal. Basically, it is like 8x of our current revenue. So a steep growth there. But yeah, I will do whatever I can to reach that goal. The other goal is to build a team, core team, and delegate more. Because right now, like, I'm just ruining my body. I don't want to do that because it's not sustainable. I can feel that already. Been just hurting my body since last 2.5 years. Not gonna do that. So I need to build a team and delegate. Because because we are building an agency. That's why I was like building a team. Otherwise, I would just collaborate with others. I'm again doing both. The third goal is like it's more personal, but I can do that if the first two are like on path, which is having some time for me, free time for myself. So I can execute like both of these guys. I want to start a podcast. I will like personal goal. I will do that and also invest my time on fitness again and hit the gym at least 5 days a day. So this is like related to the first two goals. So that's why I'm mentioning it here. So these are the three main goals that I'm working this year.
Absolutely. And I think that's amazing. Here's something I can leave you with. One, start reducing your work hours. Start reducing that so that you actually start to realize the need of delegation. You can find the right people as well. And this actually helps you start making priority for the third desire that you have, the third aim and goal. If you start working for that now, you start to expand further. Secondly, by reducing work hours, you realize that you need to charge more and then you'll be able to quote more. And thirdly, if you want to achieve $25,000 by the end of the year, whoever you reach out to, quote them at least $5,000 to $10,000 or above for each project. Now, of course, be confident that you can deliver on that and reach high ticket clients, but quote such clients and reach out to them so that with each project, it should feel like you're just halfway there. And that way, you either end up with two things. One, you reach your goal and beyond way too quickly, or you just have to, if you have said that $25,000 is enough for this year, just so that you can see this as a working MVP or something, then you have to work on less things and you can start to see other potential possibilities. Now, obviously, as a business, we always try to grow beyond that. So maybe you can open yourself to one more project, maybe hit further. But yeah, whoever you're reaching out to, whoever you're quoting, quote them a lot more than you'd actually quote. And of course, think that you can truly deliver on that value. And even before you realize, even if you think it's too much to ask, I know other people who are charging a lot more for that. Like, I can tell you from personal example, my friend Dotlang, she's a good friend of mine, and she charges $50,000 a month to manage social media accounts. And I know people who charge 6,000 INR, which is not even $10 per month. 10, I think $100. Yeah, yeah, they charge that much, and she charges $50,000 a month. And these are retainable projects. You need to at least hire her or any social media manager for 3 to 4 months. So whatever you think, you people are already delivering and charging more for that. And most of the times, they might not even be hitting the mark you are already providing with your basic services. Not that I'm saying Dot does that. Dot's work is amazing, but everyone has their own value. You just need to start feeling more confident in yourself. And this moment you start doing that, and that comes with prioritizing yourself, prioritizing your time, prioritizing your healthcare, because you realize that my time isn't worth it to do something for just $1,000, to do something for just $5,000. And they need to pay me more so I can even dedicate the time. That's when you realize how valuable you are, and that allows you to charge further. So I hope that helps you.
100%, man. Yeah, thank you. And can you repeat the name once again, that your friend name? Just
Dotlung,
wanted to look.
DOTLUNG.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you might know her. She is the mother of social dragons. She's famous. But yes, I see Kriza has raised her hand again. Hey, Kriza.
Hello. So following up on what you just answered, Arcui, I know we've had a lot of talks about value pricing comes from confidence. And when you are pricing these things per month, how do you, I'd love to know, how do you explain value-based pricing when, for example, clients ask, oh, you're charging me this much, can you give me a breakdown, like an itemized list of what's included in this price? But what happens when you have to explain that it's not just what's in this list or whatever is listed in this itemized list, it's the actual value that comes from it?
Absolutely. So here's the best way to do this. Whenever a client comes to you, don't quote right away. Never throw a number out there. Quoting a number right in the first meeting is the worst thing you can do. At least ask 24 to 48 hours before you quote an amount. But secondly, in the meeting, try to understand their business better. A discovery call is made for you to discover every little thing about them. And it's always good to do a bit more discovery before that. To quote a price and to be confident about it, it's not just about saying a number, but having good understanding of your service and field. Then when there's a meeting where you're discussing prices and everything, help them realize what they want to achieve. Whenever clients come to me, and let's say they come, so recently a client came to me for a book cover design. I told her that I know that you want to create an amazing book, and you don't just want it to be something that's saying your name, saying the book's name. You want it to be something that's empowering, that's enticing, where people look at it, they should be like, oh, what's that? Let me pick that up from the shelf. When people have it around, they want to show it off. When guests come over, they're like, oh, what's that book? When you have it, you feel the need to keep showing it again and again. You want something like that because that's what a package is supposed to be. It's not just for basic recognition, but for creating an amazing experience. And to be able to do so, we to really understand every little aspect about you, your end user, and also what needs to be conveyed so that it's really impactful, as well as there's not too much noise or way little content so that it's disturbingly boring. When I do these things, when I talk with them, they feel me as someone who can see through them, who can see for them. They see me as someone who is already a partner with them, who's already working with them, who already understands their business. When that happens, the conversation for me to describe my need for the money goes away because they're seeing the value I'm providing. Then when you're in the conversation and you're like, so for me to be able to do this for you, you tell them the story, you help them visualize everything. They're seeing that, they want that. Like when I told this to my client, I talked about a community, I talked about badges, I talked about how people would wear that to events, how that would be a banner, how so much can be done. When I spoke this to her, she could visualize it. And then I told her, for me to be able to make this dream that I gave you into a reality, this is how much it charges. And then of course there's still times that they're like, okay, but can you tell me why does it charge so much? Honestly, for me, for the past 4 years, no client has ever asked me to describe the prices anymore. They just say that, okay, this is your budget. Okay, either I can meet it or can you reduce the budget a bit? The conversation to explain the price goes away when you can truly tell a good story. And that story obviously comes with confidence and understanding. But if they ask you to break down, tell them, so everything I just told you, that requires a lot of things. We need to, and over here, you should never give away a detailed step-by-step process. Because guess what? There's a very good chance they'll be like, okay, so I need to create a good click-through rate content. Let me hire a copywriter. Let me do someone else. Here, you need to say things. This is where, fancy lingo comes into play. We need to create captivating content. They're like, what the hell is captivating content? You know that it's just writing words in an amazing manner. That way people feel like, oh my God, this is so amazing. That, oh, I want to have this. Now that's just copyright. That's just using a few, you can even do that with a few tools and with your understanding. You can read a couple of fictional books, pick up an amazing romanticizing dialogue, change a few words and convert that into messaging. It's you who makes that difference. So you break down in steps. You have strategy, research, and design and development. Then you tell them that none of these things can happen without the other. And each thing, it's a heavy involvement of you because of the work you create. And the best thing you can do is showcase case studies. When you provide case studies and you show what you have previously created, your design thinking, problem solving, they start to align and understand what you're capable of, and that the vision you're showcasing them isn't just some, but it's reality that you can truly create for them. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Of course. So yes, how about you, Shweta? How about you, Phil? What are your goals and how can I help you with something?
Yeah, hi, hello. So my major goal for this year is to first of all, follow a healthy lifestyle because that's really important for me right now. And second, then I want to scale my freelance business. That's really important. So that's my goal. And also currently I'm learning UI UX design. So yeah, I want to be a pro at it. So that's the major three goals I have right now.
That's amazing. What can I
Yeah.
help you with right now? What is something that you require assistance with?
If you can tell me like how to improve freelancing and freelancing business, like what is the major thing like to improve freelancing business? So anything if you want to tell about it.
So can you tell me what is something about the freelance business that you're having trouble with that you think if you're able to work on that, you'll be able to grow?
Uh, I think I'm generating, inbound leads and all, but I'm thinking to start cold emailing and cold outreach. So what's the best marketing strategy according to you? What is the best way to reach out to clients?
Absolutely. I think that's amazing, mainly because what has recently happened. So yeah, we'll get to that one by one, but yeah, cold outreach is needed. One thing that I'll tell you is don't let it be too cold. It shouldn't feel ice cold. It shouldn't feel like who's this random person because that gets people to block you off. Try to be a bit warm. Either do some research, make it personal, or try to find one way where you can truly communicate with them. Now, for me, I work a lot with SaaS-based businesses, and I know where they spend their most time. You need to know where your ideal users or the people you want to work with and impact spend their ideal time. So I know these most of the people launch their products in beta stage on Product Hunt. So when I go there, I go to their product pages. I see them saying we are open for demo calls. We'd love to show you. I join in. I sign up because there I get to connect most of the times with the founders or someone else. And when I'm there, I engage with them. I connect with them. I tell them the value I see in the app, but I also tell them, here's how you're missing out. Here are certain things you can do to improve. That way, they see it coming from someone who understands the field, who's involved, as well as who can truly provide insights to them. And then you provide them with a particular solution. Even with cold emails, you just need to do that. I have a good friend, Abhishek, and his approach for doing cold emails was he would record Loom videos. And Loom is an amazing tool that he used to record short clips. So whenever he wanted to work with companies, he would spend a good amount of time to understand the company and to learn their vision and mission, see their app and see where they actually had problems. When he figured that out, he'd record a good video, break down what's needed and tell them that, hey, I saw your app, I love it, and this is coming from a good place. Here are certain things you can do to improve your business right now, certain things, certain bugs that I've noticed. He's a developer and a UX UI designer, so he knows how to improve these things. He's like, if you'd like, I'm happy to get on a call and connect with you. Now, this way, you don't send out thousands of emails, you send out a few, and it takes a bit of time, but the conversion rate is much more better because it's coming from a much more personal point of view. Same thing I've done. I send voice messages as much as I can. When I want to reach out to people, I have some sort of relationship and it comes from a good way because it doesn't feel like I'm actually pushy. It comes from the honesty and try to be as clear and honest as you can. Cold emails honestly have worked forever, but you still need to be honest. You still need to do some research. And that brings me to one of the best tools that are out there. So I don't know if you know Copy AI, but Copy AI just launched a tool where, let's say you find your lead's LinkedIn account, you can paste their LinkedIn account in their platform, and then you can write a brief description about either yourself, your service, or your company and your product, and it will generate an email focusing on them based upon whatever they have mentioned on their LinkedIn account and make it more personal. Now, this way, the conversion rate is much more higher, and it takes only 10 to 15 seconds based upon your processing speed and your internet connection. Sometimes it can go to a minute, but in a minute, you'll have an amazing email that you can obviously have to improve on, but it takes you very little time, and you'll have a lot more content to reach out to and a lot more content to provide that sounds more personal. And then you just improve on it and you can send this out to more people. So I hope that helps you.
Yes, definitely. Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Of course. And Phil, the best person over here, the person who made it all happen.
I have lots of crazy fun goals for the year, but the number one thing for me is just to continue to grow the community and to service it. And we've got some things we're working on, as I mentioned to this group before, including a small app that we want to launch out there for people to utilize. So hopefully y'all will get that in the next few weeks and take a look at it, be part of our alpha testing group, because we know how important it is to test and get it right. So love to get feedback on that, but the whole aim is to continue what we're doing to set it, a little bit of a bigger scale. I'm not thinking that we're going to be the biggest group out there, but I think we could be one of the best that supports people like you guys who are growing businesses. So that's my objective for the year. So Arcui, you already help us so much by hosting these events, and I'm looking forward to work with you on stuff like this going forward.
Absolutely. And I'm glad I've been able to be of value. Do let me know if there's anything else I can do in this call or further. I'm always happy to help and support the amazing cause that you bring.
Absolutely. Appreciate your help.
Yes. And with that leaves me. My goal is to be able to have enough funds to build my house. So as many of you know, I'm a dog rescuer, and my aim is to be able to serve and help as many dogs as I can. And for that, because I live in an apartment, it's really hard to do that. If I bring about 7 dogs here, next thing you know, I'm getting an eviction notice. So I can't really do that. So I'm working on my way to just get enough, a bit more funding. And then once I'm there, buy a piece of land and build my house. And whenever I see a dog that needs help, instead of finding a home for it, use my own funds to give it a forever home by loving it and taking care of it as my own pet. Now, the thing I need from you guys is that tell me how I can help you, but also tell me how you can support me. Now, generally, I charge a lot for coaching calls. I charge around $300 a coaching call like this for an hour per person. And we did $100, 100-day challenge where I was charging per person $100 an hour. And we helped a lot of people. But I also want to make sure I can reach everyone. So let me know how I can support you, but also how you can support me, because this is a business for me. And now you guys know the cause behind it. Once I hit the mark, I have my place, and I've always done a lot of free stuff. I'm willing to do more of that as well. I'll never stop doing that. But let me know how I can support you and also how you can support me so I can further help my causes and do more things that are really important for me as well. But with that, I think we have come to the end of another wonderful session. Thank you, Phil, for hosting me, and thank you everyone for tuning in and joining. Do join the Teamwrkr community if you haven't already. I will put a link. I think, Phil, if you can put a link in the chats, because I have too many things going around here.
Absolutely.
Yes, but do join the Teamwrkr community if you aren't already a part of it, and check it out. Teamwrkr is an amazing community for freelancers to truly grow and collaborate and connect together. With that, thank you for joining to this archive station by Teamwrkr. We have another one in a few days, and in that we're talking about collaboration. Now, this is something that's really important. So if you have any questions about how to collaborate, delegate, how to manage teams, how to grow, I'm the person for you. This includes people, tools, AIs, and everything. So let me know, and that's it.
Thank you, Arcui.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and it was great to have you all here. I look forward to more from you guys, and stay tuned.